Now that you've installed the Spider interface for Python, it's time to start learning to write a program. Open the Spider interface if you have not already opened it. When you open Spider, you are also opening Python and its libraries. Spider provides tools that make it easier to work with Python and its libraries. The following videos are full of important information. They introduce you to writing code in Python. Please work at a comfortable pace and stop the video to work on your program and incorporate what you've learned as you go along. Here's how to begin. The first time that you open Spider, you will see the program editor, also called the script editor, and the place where you will write commands, also known as code. This window is on the left of your screen. On the lower right of your screen is the IPython console window, where your commands will be executed. The editor and console are the two windows that you will be working with this week. First, you will want to set your working directory to the folder which contains your files for this class. In the top right of your screen, click on the folder icon that allows you to browse folders for the one you want to use as your working directory. In other words, the folder where you want to keep all of your Python files. Once I have found the folder, I click on the icon to the right of the folder, which sets the folder as the current console's working directory. This allows me to save all of my Python files in the Python project folder, and to import and run datasets from this directly. The programmed or script editor on the left of the screen works similarly to a word processor. In addition, it automatically uses color coding to help you write and debug your program. Blue font indicates a Python keyword. Numbers are shown in dark red, and green is used for strings. A string in Python consists of alphanumeric or other characters enclosed by single or double quotation marks. In an option value pair, the value is listed in purple. Gray font indicates these are your comments about the program, the code writer's comments. Comments start with the number sign or pound symbol, and they are not analyzed by Python. If you write a line of code and absolutely none of it appears in one of these colors, that is, you only have black font on white background, then you'll want to take a closer look and see what needs to be corrected. In this case, you will often be provided with an exclamation point in a red circle to the left of a line or lines of code. Hovering over the exclamation point with your mouse provides code analysis and helps you to debug your program. Sometimes the analysis is specifically helpful, and other times it simply indicates that you have written invalid syntax, and you should take another look. Also, Python is case sensitive, so be sure to always use the correct capitalization when you write your programs. So let's write a program. As the first line of your Python program, you will need to import any libraries that you'll be using to conduct data analysis. Common libraries used for data analysis in Python include pandas and numpy. Here we will import the pandas and numpy libraries with the code import pandas and import numpy. Again, libraries, sometimes called packages, are collections of Python functions that others have written to add on to the basic functionality that is built into Python. Next, there are a few basic steps that Python and all other statistical languages require when you begin to write a program. First, you'll load the data set that you'll be working with, which is in the form of a comma-separated values file and has the extension .csv. This step is also sometimes called reading in or calling in the data set. To be able to load data, you'll first need to download the .csv file from the course site into the directory where you are keeping your class materials and where you have set your working directory. Instructions for downloading a CSV file are available in the Getting Started with Python document. Once the CSV file is downloaded into your working directory, the code for loading the NESARC data includes the following. Data is the name that I have chosen for my data frame, but you could call it my NESARC or my data or any other name of your choosing. This name is what you will use to refer to the data set when you are working with it in Python. Next, we set the data frame equal to the function pandas.read_CSV to tell Python that we will be reading in a CSV file using the pandas library. In Python, functions are followed by a set of parentheses. As shown here, the name of the data file you want to load, nisarc_pds.csv, is included within the parentheses and also within either single or double quotation marks. Remember that the Python language is case sensitive, so the name of the data set must match the actual file name precisely. If you choose the Mars crater data set, nisarc_pds.csv would be replaced with Mars crater_pds.csv. For the National Longitudinal Study of Adolescent Health, the name would be changed to adhealth_pds.csv. If you choose the Gapminder dataset, the name will become gapminder.csv, and so on. Again, to be able to load any dataset, you will first need to download the appropriate CSV file from the course site into your working directory, and then refer to its name in this program statement. It's also a good idea to add a comma and low_memory equals false following the name of the CSV file, outside of the quotation marks, but inside the parentheses. Without low_memory equals false, it's common to get a warning when you run your program, because Pandas tries to determine what data type to set for each variable by analyzing the data in each column. Determining the data type of variables can only truly be done once the file is read, so low_memory equals false can increase efficiency when running the program. All of the code that we'll write after the read.csv function will use this data set. But before moving on, let's save the program. To do this, go to the File menu and select Save. The default name is Untitled, but you should feel free to rename the program as you like. This Python program, often called the script file, will be saved to your working directory, which we set above. This Python script file with the extension .py is essentially a specialized file of all of your code. If we add this code, this will show us the number of rows, that is observations or individuals in the data set, and the number of columns, that is variables. We type print, open parentheses, len, which stands for length, and then we name our data frame, which is data. This will show us the number of rows, that is observations or individuals in the data set, and the number of columns, that is variables. If we save and run this program by highlighting the code and selecting Run Selection or Current Line within the Run menu, you can see here that nisarc includes 3,008 variables measured on 43,093 individual participants. Sometimes when you read in a data set, numeric variables end up being reformatted as string or character variables. This can create problems, especially if you try to perform numerical operations on variables that have numeric response values but are not formatted as numeric. You can use the dtype function to determine the format of your variables using the following code. Data is the name of the data set, and in brackets you type the name of the variable in single quotes, then .dtype. The output indicates that the variable format is int64, which is one of Python's numeric formats. If you do not need to convert a string or character variable to numeric, you can use the following code. First, you identify the variable of interest, specifying the data frame that the variable is drawn from, and convert the variable to numeric by using the input pandas.to_numeric and in parentheses the variable name. It can actually be a good idea to do this for each of the variables you'll be working with.